Hey folks, and welcome back to Writer's Bone. I'm Daniel Ford, and I'm here with Lindsey Wojcik. What's happening, Elwo Poppins?
Hey, how's it going, Dan?
I'm going all right. How is my beloved Astoria, New York?
Oh, Astoria is fabulous. One of my favorite restaurants just reopened again, so we're back in business.
Nice. Which one?
Sugar Freak. It's on 30th Avenue.
I don't believe I had the pleasure.
Oh, it's great. It's Creole food, which is perfect because we're going down to New Orleans in a couple of weeks.
That's right. What are some of your other haunts in Astoria you like to go to?
Oh, well, the Queen's Comfort, which is a really cool comfort food place. 2 blocks away from my apartment, so it's hard to stay away because it's like got these atomic mac and cheese balls, and it's deep fried mac and cheese with sriracha. I mean, you can resist that.
No, I would go there every night.
It's really hard every time I'm on my way home from the work, and I walk by it on the way home. I'm like, oh, am I gonna go in and get those, or should I just keep walking? I'll tell you, I go about once a month, so sometimes I don't keep walking.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So lots of cool places out here, too. Brooklyn Bagel's another big one for me.
I was a big fan of that place. Big fan.
Probably the best bagels in New York City. Actually, BuzzFeed did declare them the best bagels.
Did they really? Interesting.
They did. Yes.
I don't know if I'm willing to go that far, but they are quite tasty.
I will stick with that and say that they are the best in New York. The cream cheese options alone, they're always interesting cream cheeses. They have the flavor of the week, and I'm still waiting for them to do the apple cream cheese for the season, but, they've got pumpkin in rotation right now. They always have, random, candy flavors, like Reese's. I've seen Snickers. I mean, on a bagel, it's interesting, but it's delicious.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so
cool.
Love the food here in Astoria. Love the people.
How many times did you go to the beer garden this summer?
Oh, the beer garden. I think only twice.
Wow.
I'm kind of in a fight with the beer garden. Last October, exactly. For my birthday, they do these Oktoberfest events, and on my birthday, I read on their website that they were doing the Sam Adams event, and we went to the beer garden, and it was beer specials for Sam Adams, which is one of my favorite brands, oddly enough, still in New York, but I like the Boston beer.
That's right.
But we went there, and the guy told, hey, let's take a picture of Sam Adams. I thought it was something special. And they're like, no, we're not doing that special anymore. And the owner tried to tell me that their website got hacked, and then I was very turned off by that. So I haven't frequented as much as I have in the past, because I am now going to Single Cut.
Oh, that's right.
That is way on the other side of Queens, actually, but it's worth the walk. They always have a new beer on tap, good music playing, and they have a ton of games, so you can just sit in their tap room and, get a flight or just get your favorite kind of beer. So I like that place now, too. And they're growing in popularity as well.
Yeah, and I should mention for SEO purposes that you interviewed them, actually, for our happy hour page.
No, you did.
No, yeah, but you kind of inspired it. You added some questions. You kind of set that whole thing up. I can't take full credit for it.
I highly recommended it for that because it is a perfect happy hour spot for anyone that is in New York City. Outside of Astoria, even, it's a good place. Great beer, a lot of interesting flavors. Like this summer, they had something called Kim, and it was a sour hibiscus.
Interesting.
And it was really sour, but it was so interesting that I couldn't stop ordering it.
Nice. That's a good sign of a beer. Like you're not sure about it, but you keep ordering it.
Oh yeah, and because single cuts on tap at a lot of the bars in Astoria and around the city now. Anytime I'd order it like on tap or go to the tap room, it always had a different sourness to it. So it was very unique. Even the inconsistencies were intriguing to me. So that's like, again, why I kept reordering it.
Right. All right. Speaking of happy hour, you very much like New York right now, and I feel like anyone who moves there and like lives there for a long time has this kind of fight or flight question in their mind, whether they're going to stick around, whether what they're doing with you're doing there is worth it, whatnot. But you're in a good place in New York. What brought you to the city, and how has it affected your writing?
Oh, wow. What brought me to the city? Well, after I graduated college with a journalism degree in 2009, I'm originally from Michigan.
2009? Ugh.
Yes.
Jesus. All right, continue. I'll get over it.
So graduating with a journalism degree in Metro Detroit in 2009, which is right after the economy tanked, and Michigan in particular took a big hit. At the time that I graduated, our major metropolitan newspapers, the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News, had just cut back on their home delivery.
Ugh.
So they stopped doing it throughout the week, and they were only doing it on a weekend. Not a good sign for someone who's going into journalism.
Not so much. And those are two great newspapers too.
Great newspapers. Basically, there are a lot of dailies in our area too. But that's not a good sign for someone who's looking for a job. So I thought, I don't have anything holding me back in Michigan. I have, great family and friends who I was leaving behind. But starting my career, I figured if I'm going to go big, I better go to New York. I always wanted to live here my entire life. And, so that drove me to the city. And I graduated in May, in the city by October. And this October, it's been 5 years now. I've been here a good while. And throughout my career here, it's influenced my writing in many different ways. So, I guess to answer that question, when I came out here, I knew no one and had no job prospects. I basically started at Starbucks just to, make a living.
That's right.
And as soon as I moved here, I was like, all right, well, I have this degree, I need to do what I need to do. So I started looking for internships. Even as a college graduate, I knew that if I needed, that would be my aim somewhere. So I applied at Time Out New York, got that job in January of 2010. It was an unpaid internship. I had to juggle my time between Time Out and Starbucks, which was exhausting, but totally worth it. I got to learn the process of magazine writing and how editors kind of scrutinize the work from freelancers. My main task was fact-checking. So I would get mostly the cover story pieces.
Wow.
And
nice.
they don't have traditional cover stories where it's 20,000 words.
Right.
They were usually features about the city, and they were kind of lists for, they incorporated input from a lot of different people in the city. So I understood that process of basically what I had to do was call people that were interviewed and fact check what they said and make sure it was accurate. So any facts that were part of that, part of their comments or part of that listing, I had to make sure everything was up to snuff and correct anything that wasn't correct. So it wasn't mundane at first, but it kind of taught me the importance of making sure that you have everything that's accurate for your stories. Also, just if you're unsure of something, go back and check it with the source.
Right.
There's no problem in calling someone back to clarify something. So that was a really big eye opener, and then I had the opportunity to do some features for their online publication as well. So that was interesting because I had never really been edited in a professional setting, and I got to see how they changed my work, so I could try and tailor what they needed for their publication with each story I wrote. So, and then after a long time of doing that, I decided I should be paid for what I was doing.
That's right.
And ended up taking a part-time editorial assistant role, I guess, that evolved into that role with you at JCK.
That's right. Represent.
And that has by far been the most exhilarating experience after college for me, professionally, because we were doing daily news, and we had deadlines that we needed to make, and it was really invigorating. It was always inspiring. I always was doing something new, so I was able to kind of incorporate what I learned from Time Out New York, but apply it to a more fast-paced situation, which is really what I wanted to do when I went into journalism. So.
And we had fun. It was fun.
Oh, it was a blast. Like I said, the best professional experience I've had so far.
Nice.
Because it was a trade publication, which is now what I've been doing for the last, 4 or 5 years now. Trade publishing is very interesting because it's not traditional in the sense of you're going direct to consumer. My experience now is very based on the advertisers.
Right.
We have the freedom. We have freedom at JCK that I don't have now.
It's very rare.
Creative editorially. We have the editorial freedom to be creative in our own way.
And just to give everyone a little background, Lindsey was so well liked that the head of the Jewelry Security Alliance cried on the phone with me when she left, and then proceeded to email me like, I'm really going to miss her. She was really great. She was always hunting down crime stories. I really liked her. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, crime was a big thing for me at JCK. And it was always interesting to me to see the different ways desperate people will break into jewelry stores. And I remember interviewing a couple of jewelers who were victims. And, it's their livelihood that was, at stake, and they're very fresh out of that crime that had happened. And I think they were always willing to just comment because, especially working for JCK, the trade publication, which was widely read by jewelers and everyone else in the industry, they knew, someone else has gone through this.
Yep.
And, it's a tough experience. I also enjoyed doing the store opening, store closing stories, anything that had something to do with someone's personal story within the industry. Retailers, I've come to learn, are very passionate about what they're doing. And they're always willing to talk about what they're doing that's different or, anything at all. You remember Alan Perry, right?
Yeah. He was great. He was a character.
Oh, yeah. He was a character. So those are the things that stand out to me.
Is he the one? Is he the one that tried to sell the Pope's jewelry? Is that the same guy?
Yes. That's the guy. Yep.
I got to dig up a link on that story. That was fun.
Oh yeah, the Pope's jewelry. He did the Snowfall promotion.
That's right.
He kind of just did anything to get his name out there, and I admired that, and it was always interesting. The people aspect of these stories is what kept me doing this for so long. I really like doing one-on-one stories. Feature writing was always something I always wanted to do. Even back in college, when I was working at my college newspaper, that's what I did. And I did a lot of profiles of students at the school. everyone's got something interesting and different to say. So it's really kind of helped me stick with writing throughout the 5 years that I've been here. But on a personal level, coming to New York has been mind-blowing for personal experiences and inspiring for all types of writing. Initially, when I moved out here, I started a blog to kind of let my family know what was up, my friends know, like, what I was experiencing as a new New Yorker. And over the years, kind of, you know, not been as frequent with my updates, but there have been some pieces that I'm really proud of, just, you know, from a personal perspective of living in New York, because it is an experience that is, you know, wonderful, exhilarating, exhausting, all of the above, but after 5 years, I'm still thrilled and happy that I still have, you know, a little piece of inspiration that I get from, you know, the city, and that can happen anytime. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well said. I like it. So, and the name of your blog is City Dweller?
Yes. Well, City Dweller is a revival right now. I had to switch platforms a couple of years ago. But yeah, that's on Tumblr. And it's got pieces, you know, from what I have written before. When I first moved here in 2009, 2010 era, I was, you know, very much writing a lot more than I am now for it. But also a couple of pieces, like in the last year, experiences that I think are a little bit, are somewhat unique, but that other people don't relate to. So, that's on Tumblr.
So it sounds like you need a little bit of writing inspiration. You need a little push to start writing some of the things that you want to write about. Am I wrong on this?
Yes, you are. Yes, that would be an accurate statement.
Okay. So have you been following the Newspaper Men at all? Our fiction series?
Yeah. I have skimmed it because I get the updates. Obviously, I'm on social media a lot, so I get anything with writers related on social media. And I do click it.
Well, good. We appreciate the traffic. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get together with Dave and Sean. Three of us are going to spearheading this thing. And we're going to come up with some type of storyline that you can write about. Because I feel it's right up your wheelhouse. It's newsy, but it's got a fictional bend. And I think you would add a good a voice that, not lacking, but that would really strengthen the story.
Okay, cool.
So that's going to happen. All right, so the last question that we always end with everyone is, what advice do you have for up-and-coming writers? Even though you are one, for someone just starting out, you know, you're past the foot of the mountain now. You're climbing it. As hard as it is, you're climbing it. So as someone starting out at the bottom, the very bottom, what advice do you have?
If you can dream it, you can do it. I mean, there are days, even, you know, professionally, where I am just drained and exhausted, and I don't think I have any more words to put on paper. But then I think about the fact that I am getting paid to do something that comes very naturally to me, and something that, you know, I enjoy. So if it's something you want to do it. I would always say manage your expectations. Perhaps professionally, it won't be what you dreamed it would be, but do something for yourself personally to make it, you know, worth your while, and find your happiness through it. Like the City Dweller blog, for me, it very much is a nice outlet for that. Anything that I've written for Writer's Bone has been an outlet for that as well. But yeah, if it's what you want to do it. Find your voice and figure out, you know, what about it makes you happy, and then stick with it.
Great advice. Love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, last one. I lied to you before. Funniest New York moment that's happened to you on the subway recently?
Funniest New York moment that has happened to me on the subway recently. Oh, man.
Yeah. I hit you good with that one.
Yeah. You know, there's always some random, like, thing that happens, and, you know, you look at other commuters and you just smile because, you know, like, it's actually happening. I think there was something, I think it was this year. It was way early this year. Now we're in October, but it stands out to me. I was on the downtown line train heading to Times Square so I could transfer, and I was only on the one train for 2 stops. As soon as I walked on the train, I immediately smelled something different.
Yeah, not good.
I thought, ooh, no, this is not your reaction. It's not what you think. I thought, okay, it smells familiar to me. And I looked around and I saw a man smoking a cigarette on the train.
Huh.
While we were like between stations. I don't know if he was homeless or just like, you know, distraught over something that had happened to him and just needed to take the edge off. But he was smoking on the train, and people around me were angry about it. And one woman got to an argument with him about it. And she's like, you know, you can't smoke on the train. How are you doing? Blah blah blah. I was sitting here where the train conductor is. So he actually kicked out of his little booth and said, you know, you have to put that cigarette out. And the guy just like kind of stared at him and was like, no, I'm going to finish this cigarette, and, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. And I just remember everyone, you know, in the train was so, like, everyone reacted to it in different ways, you know. Some people were quiet, you know, they had that familiar look in their eyes, like, this guy's crazy, what is he doing? Other people were verbally, you know, expressing their distaste with what he was doing, like. And then I heard someone say, only in New York, and I was like, we overuse that phrase a little too much. Sometimes I think we do, but...
Probably, but I mean, it's a cliche for a reason. Like, that would only happen there. In Boston, they would just beat the guy senseless and then throw him off the tee. In New York, it's just like, you know what? Smoke if you got him. Everyone take 5.
It was crazy. I've actually never seen someone smoking on a train before, so that would be my subway experience in the recent last year.
Nice. Feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We look forward to your next piece, which will be something that I create with Dave and Sean here, or anything else that comes to your head.
Oh yeah, I do. I just finished reading Goodbye to All That, which is about my favorite topic in life, New York. And I've been taking notes about it the whole time I've read it. And I was thinking of maybe just doing a piece on, you know, something, you know, that's made me happy that I stayed in New York, because the whole book is about people who leave and why they leave and, you know, their experiences there. So maybe I could do something like that. And the author has another book coming up too that I'm planning on diving into as soon as I can get my hands on it. So you might see something like that too.
Nice. I'm sold. All right, buddy. Well, take it easy and tell New York I said hi.
Will do. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.